Welcome back to another edition of the Optimized Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, and as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets, as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. Markets fought last week to maintain their record high after clocking in several weeks of significant gains. The TSX finished the week up 86 basis points, the Dow finished the week down 93 basis points, the Nasdaq down about 1.1%, the S&P finished the week down 26 basis points, however still maintaining that very significant 5,000 level. Looking at the year more broadly, we've had a tremendous start to the year with the S&P and Nasdaq both up over 8% year to date, the TSX up over 4% and the Dow up close to 3%. And taking a look at sector performance, materials and utilities were on top for the week, with tech and consumer discretionary being the weakest performers. Now looking at the events from this past week, the Bank of Canada held its overnight rate at 5%, which was very much in line with expectations. Strong recent GDP and job market data suggest the Canadian economy is still holding up enough to support the current interest rate policy, and the Bank of Canada officials also highlighted that inflation is progressing towards their 2% target. The United States saw the addition of 275,000 jobs in February, with a slight uptick in unemployment by 0.2%. Overall, the labor market remains healthy, but is still continuing to moderate towards a more balanced state. This will be welcome news for the Federal Reserve as they target their dual mandate for maximum sustainable employment and price stability. And Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell provided his semi-annual monetary policy report last week. In his remarks, he noted that the resilience of the economy and the labor market gave the Fed time to assess the current policy, and noted that it would be likely necessary to reduce rates later in the year, but cautioned against cutting rates prematurely. Now for the week ahead, Tuesday we'll be getting a reading on the US CPI numbers for the month of February, which investors will be watching to gauge inflation in the short term. On Friday we'll get more data on the US consumer sentiment for signals on the health of the US economy. And for earnings this week, we're watching for results from Nike, Adobe, and Shell. Certainly no shortage of excitement in the markets last week, with more to come in the week ahead. As always, thank you for watching and see you soon.